always focus more on individual fitness. We do more personalized training. This facility, we've been here about 8 years. I was on North Meridian for 15 years. But we do a lot of individualized training for people to help them get in shape, stay in shape, maintain active lifestyles. Today what I really want to talk about is just strength training and talk a little bit about the benefits, some of the principles, and then give you guys an opportunity to kind of try out some things at your own level and really work with you on kind of proper form and technique and just show you some things that you can do to help maintain some of the benefits of strength training. The truth is we're all getting older. I don't believe I'm over 50 now. It just kind of went like that. My daughter's going to go to college here in a couple weeks, and you know, it's something that we can't really stall it. But one thing I want to tell you, one positive, is that you can keep your body in tune at any age. Whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever your age, you can do things that will help your body stay younger. Strength training is one of the most important things you can do over time to keep your body physiologically younger. Some of the benefits of proper strength training are you're going to see an enhancement in your muscle tissue. And over the decades, you tend to, if you're not using it, you tend to lose muscle. And you can also lose bone density. Well, strength training is going to be one of the best things that you could do to help prevent that or to help build that back up. So strength training is going to help you enhance lean muscle mass. It's going to help you enhance your bone density. From a movement perspective, movement requires strength. And depending on how active you want to be, the stronger you are, the better you're going to be able to move. Movement is just not, it's not only strength, it's having flexibility with strength. So strength training actually is going to enhance both of those, because when I do a movement like a squat and I sit down, I'm not only contracting the muscles in my legs and my hips, but I'm stretching certain muscles at the same time around my knee and around my hips. So when I do this movement consistently, I maintain strength and I maintain flexibility at the same time. It's called mobility. So as we get older, movement becomes more important. And the truth is that it's easy to not move a lot. You really have to kind of make it, talking to Jeff, I mean, he's telling me he gets up early morning. I mean, that makes it a priority, right? Okay, and it's something that if you are not accustomed to doing it, you really have to try to develop a pattern, try to develop a habit. And so consistency is really, really important. But, you know, the whys of strength training, I mean, there's a lot of different physical health benefits for doing strength training, but everybody's going to have their own reasons. But I kind of look at it this way, that, you know, I think everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to remain mobile as long as they possibly can. Everyone from a health perspective would rather be healthy than not healthy. And, well, what can I do myself to try to take care of myself? So to me, it's, you know, exercise and training it's a lifestyle. It's just what you do to take care of yourself. I know this, that when you apply yourself to anything, when you put effort towards something, you feel good about it. And it's just like when you do a good workout, when you go and you exercise. When you're done, it makes you feel good the rest of the 23 hours that you're not working out. So does anybody have that same experience? When you go in and you go put a good effort in and you work out, what do you feel like afterward the rest of the day? Tired?
Tired.
Okay. All right. I love what she just said, because the only way you're going to get more energy is you have to use your energy. Your body has billions of cells, and the only way that you're going to pick your energy up is to actually utilize more of that energy. So if you don't feel like you've got a lot of energy, the best thing you can do, one of the simplest things you can do, is to start being more active. Walking, brisk walking, consistently done over time. You pair that with some strength training, from a health perspective, you're doing a great deal for yourself. And a lot of it, again, comes comes down to, your patterns and habits, and it's just developing the right patterns and habits. And if you haven't done it, you really have to either work out with a friend, work out with a trainer, but have some type of support person that's motivated toward it the way you are. Let me talk a little bit about some of the principles of strength training. The most important thing is the overload principle. And the overload principle, all that really means is that in order for your body to become stronger and to increase its capacity, you have to challenge it or overload it beyond what it's accustomed to. Now, if you take a beginner that's not used to doing anything, that overload, it won't take very much. You have to start out at your own level and build up over time. But in order to create overload, you've got to stress the body. All right. If you haven't been doing hardly any exercise, and if I teach you how to do some squatting like this, for a beginner, 5 or 10 of those might be enough. All right. For someone more advanced, Matt, this is my brother Matt, and that's one of our trainers. Pick up that green kettlebell in a goblet squat style. And now that kettlebell weighs about 44 pounds. And do a few squats. Okay? One more. All right, so what he's done is increased the overload. He's increased the stress. Matt, do one more thing for me. See that barbell? Yep. All right, this is even going to be more advancement because that bar's got 135 pounds on it. So you saw me do a body weight squat. All right? So body weight squat, that'd be level 1. Goblet squat where we add some weight, level 2. This would be even beyond that. So go ahead and do a back squat. All right. And I'm not asking you guys to do this today. I'm just showing you the different levels. Okay. Okay, that's good. So for beginners, just using your own body weight is great. And I'm going to have you all do that today. We're going to do some body weight squats. And I'll probably have you do some extra resistance with a little weight, whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, to try to do a little bit of extra resistance. So the overload principle, basically, in order to get stronger, you have to stress your body. All right, and the level, hopefully over time, should be progressive. One of the most important things over time is that you try to increase your capacity. So if you're doing an arm curl and you can do 5 pounds, just over time, can you get up to 6? Can you build up to 7 pounds and then 8 or 10? You need to constantly try to challenge your body. Now, there's going to come a point, though, you're not going to keep raising the weight to where you're lifting, 75 pounds in one hand. But can you build up your strength over time? Let's say reasonably over the year's time, can you build up from 5 pounds to, being able to lift 15 pounds? I tell you, when you're lifting 15 pounds compared to 5, you're going to feel a difference in your muscular system. You're going to feel the density and the tonus in the muscle, the firmness. Your ability to produce force is going to increase. So whenever you're using that arm, it's going to have just greater capacity. So the 2 things I mentioned as far as principles, the overload principle, we need to achieve that each workout, and then progression. Over time, you need to try to progress what you're doing. And one more thing on progression, there's 2 ways you can progress. Let's say with that 5 pounds, initially you can do 7 of them. Well, you can do more repetitions to where you can do 8, 9, 10, 11 with that 5 pounds, or we can increase the weight load itself. So there's 2 ways to progress. And so you want to focus on that also. As far as the other principles, form and technique, I'm a real big believer that whenever you're doing a movement, the most important thing is not how much weight you're lifting, but how you're lifting it. Okay, it's not just how much weight you're lifting, but how well you move. Like when I do a squat, and I keep going back to that because that's one of the first things you guys want to go through, but when I do a squat, I want to basically rotate around my hip and my knee joint fully. Now, you may not look exactly as me, but you're going to do the best you can to do your squat. But on the movement itself, I want to do it in really good control. I want to have good posture. So to me, proper form means that you've got good posture, that you're moving under control, that you're activating the correct muscles, you've got good tension on the muscles throughout the movement, and your breathing is in sync with your movement. That's what I would look at when I'm watching watching someone train, I would look at those things to determine whether their form is really good or not. And if it's not, I'll give them some feedback and say, hey, this is what you need to do here. Let's try to adjust that, and we try to get back to where they're doing the best form they can. So proper form is important. Form is more important than the amount of weight you lift. If you can do really good form for the number of repetitions that we're working toward, then we can decrease the weight load. Okay? Along with form, as far as how often should you strength train? I would say a minimum a couple times a week. For a beginner, that'd be a good starting point. Maybe a couple times a week that you do some resistance training. You can do more than that. I do usually about 3. There's people that do more competitive things that could go even beyond that, but I think just for most people, a couple times a week is a really good frequency. The duration, how long should a workout take? I'm a real big believer that everything, to me, fitness is a lifestyle. It's not just what you do in the gym here. I mean, you could be out in your backyard. You could be at a park. You can work out anywhere. You can be physical anywhere. And as far as the duration, how does that relate to duration? I may do something for 5 minutes. I may do push-ups and squats. That's all I'm going to do right there. That's all I have time for. Or I may come in the gym and I may spend 45 minutes. I think the point that I want to get to you on the duration is that it all kind of adds up. And whether you're doing 5 minutes here, or 15 minutes here, or you're doing a full workout, it's more the cumulative effect over time of your efforts toward being physical and being vigorous. Does that make sense? So on the duration, I don't like to give a set time. I think a couple times a week, trying to be more vigorous and putting stress on the muscles. Whether you have 5 minutes or you can do the whole kind of routine. Today, what I'm going to show you is about 6 different movement patterns that work in most of your large muscle groups in your body. I would say to go through that, it would be a half an hour or less, if you had a routine. So you don't have to spend a ton of time, but you need to spend time consistently doing it. Okay? Duration, weight load selection. This is something like, well, how much weight should I lift? Well, the first thing I would say is that, 1, can you lift it correctly? And 2, what are we trying to do? Are we lifting really heavy weights for a few repetitions? I use a range, and it's typically from about 5 reps in general. I'd have people do at least 5 reps. And usually not more than 15, 5 to 15. So, and there's different ways to go about it. You don't always have to lift 15. Some days you may go heavier and just do fewer repetitions. So my point on the weight load selection is, number 1, you need to be able to lift it in the correct technique, with the right posture, with the right muscle activation, and putting it all together so you've got good form. That's the most important thing. And the second thing is just determining how many reps we want to do. And so we vary that. I know in here with our trainers, we don't do the exact number every time. I think you need to kind of challenge your body in different ways. So some days you may go heavier and do fewer reps. As long as you're doing good form, it's fine. And then some days you do multiple repetitions where you're doing maybe 10 to 15. They both work. Okay. So those are some of the principles of strength training. I'm just going to open it up just real quick if you have any questions about anything I just talked about or anything that you didn't quite understand. Anything from anybody about overload principle or progression or form or some things that maybe came to mind? Go ahead. Circuit training? I love circuit training. Circuit training is just, you have a battery of exercises, and that can vary. It could be 4 exercises, it could be 8, but let's say you've got 8 exercises, and each exercise is going to work a different area. And you would work on an exercise number 1, you would do it, and then you kind of rotate through the circuit. You could rotate through that circuit multiple times. It provides a lot of variety within an exercise routine. It allows you the opportunity to work your entire body. We do circuits all the time, and they're a great way to do training. Another way to do it beyond circuits is like pairing exercises. Like I could do mean, this is a real simple one. Like, I could do squats and then do push-ups. All right? And I could go back and forth on those two. Let's say I'm going to do 3 sets of each of 10. I'm going to do 10 squats, 10 push-ups. Okay? And then I'm going to repeat it 3 times. That'd be another way besides the circuit. But, so there's multiple ways of putting different routines together, and we do it all the time. And, I think that over time you're going to try a lot of it.
What's the correlation between, say, if you have heart problems, you have blood pressure problems, you have diabetes, you have any physical thing that you are trying to build your body up with? Is there certain exercises that are better for these, or are they all okay? Does that differ?
I would say that the first thing I know that we do typically when we work with clients is we do a health screen. And I think it's important as we get older that, I would suggest that people at least contact their physician and find out if there's any contraindications. We need to know that if we were going to start training with you. If there's anything you shouldn't be doing. But in general, I would say that if you have physician clearance and they've approved you to exercise, you just need to be smart about the approach. You need to walk before you run. We need to not worry about intensity too much. We need to work on consistency. We need a gradual build-up. And as far as the specifics of the exercise, I just think that we need to do good basic foundational exercises. And I mentioned earlier about the whole walking thing. From a health perspective, it's one of the best things you can do. It's simple. All right? It's just you have to do it consistently. All right? But it is something that most people can do. And then from a strength training perspective, I'm going to show you some things today that they're simple. They're simple. That simple doesn't mean easy, though. All right? So when you overload your body, you're going to put some stress on it. But it's simple from a perspective is like, like the dumbbells that we have out there. I mean, those are, you may have them in your bedroom, or you may have them in your basement, or, they're at about any gym that you can think of. So they're simple tools. It's just knowing what to do, knowing how much, and then applying yourself to that tool and using it. Okay? So did I answer your question enough? Okay. Excellent. Let's see, what else? I think it's time to maybe get up off these chairs and to kind of start slowly and do a few movement patterns. Now, the goal here is not to I'm not here to kick your butts. I'm here to just kind of go over form and technique and let you experience it a little bit and kind of give you a taste of some different movements that you could